to order. So I think you all have received Laura's updated minutes. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as prepared?
I move to accept the minutes as prepared.
All right, motion's been made. Have a second?
Second.
All right, motion's been made and second. Any need for further discussion? All in favor of the minutes, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Treasurer's report.
So we have still $592.14 left over from the grant money. Our donation account, we've taken in a couple of deposits this month. So it is now at $3,196.61. And there is $824.93 remaining in the budget. I don't think that I know that our, the 350 for the security system has not come out of that yet.
Yeah, I printed off the thing for that the other day. I have to come visit you all.
All right, give us a call or whatever. And
Everyone's around this week.
yeah, I'm planning to be here myself. All right, very good. Thank you. So can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented? A
I
motion?
move to accept the treasurer's report.
Okay, motion is made, seconded.
Second.
Okay, hold on. We got some people coming on board here.
Yep.
Hello, Deborah. And we're waiting for Kevin to show some life here. There we go. Hello, Kevin.
Hi.
All right, we just, to bring up to speed, we just approved the minutes for January with no changes. We just had a second on the treasurer's report. Laura, why don't you just repeat the numbers again, if you don't mind?
Hold on. Okay, so we have $592.14 left over from the grant. The donation account is at $3,196.61. And once the security system gets paid for, we will have $824.90. I'm sorry, $824.93 left in the budget.
Okay, so a motion's been made to accept the treasurer's report. I think, did we have a second on that? Did we? Okay,
Yes.
Kevin seconded. Any need for any further discussion? There ain't no need. All in favor? Aye.
Hi.
All right, very good. Thank you. Incoming correspondence, Laura.
The National Grid December, January came in for the total of $10.97.
Yep.
The select board notice of the 2022 annual town meeting, which will be on May 2nd, and annual town election on May 9th, with instructions for filing articles for the warrant. The deadline for filing articles for the warrant is 5 p.m. on February 28th.
Okay.
Two deposits, $185 and $115, both made today or yesterday, I'm not sure.
Yay.
And then several thank you letters for cash and check donations to the community garden that Deb took care of.
Okay.
That's all that was in the mailbox. Now I do
All
have
right.
I have AgCom emails too. But,
Okay. All right.
we're probably going to end up talking about a lot of this later. Just say what came through the AgCom email address. So community garden rewrites were there was a thread between Deborah and the select board related to the definition of senior on the website and the community garden application. On January 12th, the town administrator submitted the grant application for that MIIA wellness grant in the amount of $3,408.98. On January 19th, the select board sent out another reminder for the annual town reports. And again, on the 28th, last call for annual town reports. February 1st, select board approved sent a note saying that they approved the amended AgCom rules and regulations. On February 3rd, the select board sent out a please share. I think everybody got this one in their personal inboxes, but it was for town seeking feedback and suggestions on the federal ARPA parentheses COVID-19 relief funds. And then again, the annual town meeting notice. And that's it. I mean, other than a whole bunch of newsletters and stuff, but they will be.
All right. Very good, thank you. And does anybody have any questions or anything that Laura has presented? She's touched upon some of the other items that will be discussed in more detail as we go through the agenda. So there are no further questions on that. Moving on to old business. As Laura mentioned, the grant, the Meyer Health Benefits Trust Wellness Grant application was submitted on the 12th of January. The due date was the 1st of February. We received nothing back, so I have to conclude they're still evaluating all of the grants. So we'll see what the outcome may be there in the future. Anybody have any questions on the grant? Okay. Next item, CPA fence grant phase 2. So that was submitted. I attended an impromptu meeting that Elaine was having with the CPAC people. She's on the committee. I think I can say that our grant was well received. There was no criticism with respect to the grant. There is a concern relative to the funding, however. They have a limited amount of funds. There are 2 other grant applications in the works that they're looking at that have the potential of having grant money to support the CPA funding. Conservation Commission is in the process of trying to acquire the Grail property, and they're also applying for a grant. So there's going to be a substantial amount of funding allocated for that. The other one has to do with the Historical Commission. There is also a potential grant there for the Massachusetts Historical Commission of a matching $100,000 grant. So that also got favorable recognition by the commission, by the committee rather. And there is still a shortfall of funding when the meeting concluded with both of those. So there's a good possibility that if they don't come up with enough funding, and Tim Wheeler took the action item at the last meeting to look into that, and they'll be meeting again on the 17th of this month. So there's a possibility that our fencing grant may have to be pushed over to the next round once they have additional funding. But we won't know for certain until they meet again on the 17th. Any questions? Okay, so that's where we stand on that. As you know, we still have the vacancy on the AgCom. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts that they want to contribute at this time or have any discussion on that matter. I don't have anything additional to say personally, but I don't know if anybody else has anything to say. All right, so why don't we just keep this open and continue to think about it and see where we want to go with that in the future. The community garden rules, as Laura mentioned, they were approved by the board on February 1st. So that's behind us. So while we're on the subject of the community garden, Deborah, it sounded like we've already received some applicants and some
Yes,
agents. Would you like to bring us up to speed on that?
sure. I want to thank James for taking care of getting everything up on the website first, because we finally got the application up, we got the rules up. There was a little confusion that one didn't get looked at, and they thought that the select board had thought that they had gotten both pieces approved, but they didn't really see the other one, I guess. So that's all good. We've gotten 13 applications from Berlin residents. There are 2 out of town on the wait list. It always happens. We get a big push at the beginning, bunch of people come in. That's our 13 and 2, and then they'll start to dribble in. And then once we have a beautiful run of weather in the spring, then they'll start coming in again. So Laura saw the donation that I deposited today, so that's good. We had one just straight donation, and then the other were by gardeners who just paid additional money. And Laura, did you actually see the letters, the thank you letters today?
Yes.
Okay, because I screwed up, and you've got 2 copies to one person, and I've got 2 to another.
Yes, I noticed that. So,
Okay, so can we do an exchange? Whenever you get up to the mailbox again, I'll put the duplicate that you need from me, and if you'll put the duplicate in the Cultural Council mailbox,
oh, sure.
I'll pick it up there. It's not a problem. I just figured we could save paper and just trade off what we
Yep.
needed. I went to put them in the book tonight, and I'm like, oh, great.
I wondered why I had 2 from Jenny Gulliver.
That's why.
I had a feeling it was something like that.
Yeah, when I was sorting them, I just screwed up.
That's fine.
One really great thing we got back from the applications was somebody filled out the top, didn't indicate they wanted a garden, didn't send a check. And when I contacted the person, because I said, I just kind of straighten me out here, what you want. Did you want a plot? I don't understand. Well, come to find out, he would like to volunteer to help us. And I said, well, what would you like to do? He says, well, I'm an electrician by trade. Yes. So I said, we have electricity, and we've had problems with replacing the motion detectors. So he was very agreeable and said that I told him I'd call him once we can actually get down there and see about, he'll do the work for us to replace it.
Okay. Now, the motion detectors, are you talking the ones on the lights or some of the
Yeah, the lights that we were
light
having.
ones? Yeah, okay. No, I just wanted to clarify that. Good. Yeah,
the
that's
lights
excellent.
were damaged when we did the siding.
Yeah.
So I thought
Yeah.
that would make everybody happy to hear that.
No, that's terrific. And by the way, he may have to replace the lights in total. And, we can certainly reimburse him for that if he wants to donate his labor, but he certainly doesn't have to donate the material.
Oh,
I think,
I assumed that.
Yeah. yeah, just to clarify for everybody that I think everybody's in agreement, right? I mean, if he gives us a copy of the invoice, we'll honor it certainly and be very grateful. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the only last little tidbit was I received all of those applications that I told you about. Of course, they didn't read the part about you have to read the rules to sign off on them. And since the rules weren't posted on the website, they couldn't have possibly read them. So I sent them all an email and I made them acknowledge that they have read the rules now that they're posted. So I've heard back from all the gardeners, just a legal thing. I just wanted to make sure that they actually did read the new rules. So
Very good.
that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you very much. Just one more point of clarification on those people, as I understand it, some people made out and out donations, but are not looking for garden plots. Is that correct?
Yeah, there was one person, the same person who made the, she made a donation last year.
Okay, and with somebody sending her a thank you letter?
Yes, I sent all the thank you letters out.
Okay, all right, that's what I wanted to clarify. All right, thank you very much. Yep, good.
Okay.
All right, excellent. Anybody have any questions on that subject? All right, very good. Moving on to the new business. As Laura mentioned, we got another electric light bill for $10.97. And we received one earlier for $10.72. I processed both of those and sent them into June for payment. So the next item, Farm Bureau AgCom membership. So I don't know if you all have received a copy of the latest Farm Bureau newsletter, but they have changed the membership requirement, and I guess what has driven this is that over the years, it was just a blanket membership for anybody that was participating in the AgComs. And some of the AgComs have gone away, or the membership has changed, and people are still participating in the benefits that the Farm Bureau offers, but aren't on AgComs anymore. So they want to clean that act up. So they'll be renewing memberships on an annual basis as one of the changes. The other change is that memberships must be requested either on town letterhead or from a town email address. Because the Farm Bureau needs to ensure that membership is being provided only to legitimate and current AgCom members. So I had asked Laura to look into that, and she raised some interesting points. Just so you're all aware, if she hands in everybody's email address, which is what the Farm Bureau has asked for, you'll be getting direct notices from them. Right now, they come just to the town AgCom's email address, but they want to have the individual membership email addresses. So I don't know if does anybody have any concern over that. Laura, did you want to contribute to what I just said?
Yeah, it's just anything that the Farm Bureau sends us goes into our minutes anyway. And I could even just grab them and forward them to everybody if they want it, or just add you to their, what they're doing is they're basically asking for each of our names and email addresses. Now, I'm already a member of Farm Bureau, so I already get everything anyway. And I just was thinking that this is gonna clog up people's inboxes. So I didn't know if anybody had objection to sending them everybody's email address, or my thought was to just try to placate them with giving them agriculture@townofberlin.com and saying that goes to everybody. And I'll give them everybody's name for their records, but then just, that's the email address that's going to reach all of these people.
So I think that's a good going in philosophy, and try to take that approach. The question is, what happens if they resist? And if they resist, does anybody object to Laura providing not only your name, but your email address to them?
No, there's usually an opt-out part to any of those emails. I suppose if it got to be too cumbersome, you could always do an opt-out individually.
Yeah, I suppose you could.
Yeah.
All right. So is the consensus that Laura should go forward to try to take the first approach, have them just send them to the town's AgCom email address, with the understanding that it can't get distributed to everybody? And if that fails, she'll provide the names and email addresses for all the AgCom members. Is that what we're agreeing to?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Want to take that action item then, Laura, to follow through on that, please?
Certainly will.
All right, thank you. Deborah had asked last month, and I forgot to put it on the agenda, about community garden soil testing. And I went online quickly, and the UMass Ag School is still doing that. And there's all kinds of different levels of soil testing that they do. And it seemed to me the basic one that they offer, which is, I think, the more appropriate one, I guess it's in the $50 to $60 range. So that's something you're still interested in having done.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The last time we did it was shortly after the garden opened.
Mhm.
So I think it might be a good idea to do it again. I certainly I don't think I have to do this every year, but I don't think it would hurt to do it at this point in time. So not knowing exactly what the finances will be, I'd like to make a motion that we authorize Deborah to proceed with getting the soil testing done with a not to exceed of $100. That
I move that we do it.
all right? That's a second. So motion's been made and second. Is there a need for discussion further? Yes, Deborah.
No, I'll second it.
Okay. So now we have 2 seconds, which is good.
Oh, I must have been asleep for a minute.
Okay. So hearing no need for discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, so let me just get this document here. There is a master and I don't know if you mentioned this one, Laura, the MDR email that came out. There's going to be a farmland action planning listening session. And they're looking for ideas on this subject. So I just want to inform you that if anybody's interested in it, and participating and listening to what they have to say, there's going to be a Zoom meeting on Tuesday, February 15th at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. and on Wednesday, February 16th, 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It's a listening session to provide input for the development of the Massachusetts Farmland Action Plan. So you all have been put on notice. If you want to listen in, those are the times. And if you want to get the Zoom information, let me know and I can send that out. All right. And let me just mention, because Laura did touch upon it. This is an email. This is an email that the select board sent out, and it refers to ARPA funding, which is the American Rescue Plan Act for 2021. And the federal government has put up $350 billion, that's with a B, for pandemic-related state and local government funding, which has to be obligated by December 31st, 2024. So the way this works, it goes out to the states, and Massachusetts received 8.7 billion out of that pot, and Berlin was allocated $968,458, of which $484,229 has been received to date in this current fiscal 2022 year. So that's part of money that the town is sitting on with more to come, another roughly 500,000 to come. And they've solicited all the various committees and other organizations in town for input as to what we might want to do with money. So the Historical Commission is planning to submit a request. I'd like to see what happens on the 17th of this month, the CPAC money regarding fencing. And if the money isn't available, I would propose that we submit a request for the ARPA funds to the select board for the fencing. Anybody have any concerns or questions about that?
I move that we authorize you to do it.
Okay, so I guess that's a motion. Can we have a second?
Second.
Deborah's making a second, okay. Need further discussion? There no need further discussion, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, very good. All right, we'll proceed along that path then, see what happens. Earlier today, Deborah and I both received an email from, what's this? Oh, it's, let's see. Gary somebody, what's Gary Phillips, I guess. Hi, Kyle and Deborah. I'm installing a native plant bee and butterfly garden at Weston Park in Northborough. Someone suggested I contact you to see if there is interest at your plot. I have seeds to share if you are. So I sent a note to Deborah saying, Deborah, are you going to respond to this?
And Deborah was with her mother all day and didn't do it, so I'll do it.
Oh, well, that's okay. There's no rush.
I will
So,
do it tomorrow. My questions are, obviously, is he talking about just giving us the extra seeds to do it? Is he somebody who's looking for payment to do it? It was kind of loose.
Yeah.
So I need to ask him, did you want to do it on a volunteer basis? Are you just going to give us the seeds? What are you thinking? And then I didn't know about any concerns about perennials down there. And maybe if we did indeed want to put something of that nature in, we'd want to think about putting it outside of the perimeter of the garden right now.
yeah, either outside or if we have an extra plot, I would certainly isolate it in one way or the other, because I suspect and a lot of these seeds would be perennial wild flowers. I don't know that, but that would be my guess. So.
Yeah. Okay, well, let me
right,
find
we'll
out
do
a
it.
little bit more from him.
Okay.
I'll answer him.
We'll leave it in your capable hands.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Okay. So that's pretty much the agenda, folks. Anybody have any questions or items I'd like to bring up? Any juicy gossip or anything? Or
Not a thing.
other thing, huh? All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Have a good evening. Thank you, James, for doing the thing you do here to get us all together. Appreciate it. Thank you all for your input. And have a good evening.
You too.
Good night.
Everybody.